So boom, now we come to the big question, which every woman's asked me over the 40 years I've been doing this. What's the difference between needing a man, which is what is the biggest turn on to a man, is when he feels you need him for something, right, and being needy.
Right.
Okay. Needy is I need help and I don't trust that I can get it. And even worse, needy is my wife is needy if she needs my help and we're having a party at the house and I have my jobs to do and she has her jobs to do and she says, you're supposed to get the drinks and the bucket of ice and put up the decorations. Okay, that's my job. And the party starts and I'm late and I get there and she's, you're late. Now the party started, the decorations aren't up, the drinks aren't here. I went to the store, I got them myself. Okay, that's needy. That means I needed you and you failed me. That means I needed you and I can't trust you to be there for me. I'll have to do it myself. That's needy. Needy is I have to do it myself. I have needs, but I can't trust anybody to do it. See, you did that. I can't trust you. What needing is, needy, bad. Needing, being in touch with your needs, would be this. And I come home late. My wife goes, oh my gosh, we've already started. We don't have any drinks. I'm so glad you're here. Will you go to the store and get them? That's it. You're alive. I didn't know what happened. I'm so glad you're here. Can you go get the drinks now? Because we still need them. You see, I'm not a bad guy. I'm the good guy, and there's a problem, and now I can solve it. But so many times women are disappointed. They go, oh, I guess I'll do it myself, as opposed to being in touch with your need for a man and know that the men you're going to date for the next year aren't your soulmate. They're training you to practice the skills you'll learn from me and these other men. And in my books, Beyond Mars, Venus on a Date, you got to practice these skills. Don't naively think it's just about finding the right guy. Where do I find the right guy? It's not about that at all. You need to find the wrong guy, loosen up on the neediness where you're demanding him to be perfect, and create a series of positive dating experiences. So let me give one more piece on that. If you were coming to my house to buy the house,
right,
you would want to look at the basement and the cracks, and you would want to have people come and test it and what's wrong, what's good, does the air conditioning work, do the vents work, is there mold? You do all this testing. You would be hyper vigilant to test the worthiness of this house to purchase.
Right.
Because you're thinking about buying it, and that would be reasonable. But if you're a guest at my house, you'll come in and you go, wow, this is the most beautiful house. Look at the view. Look at the windows. Look at the statues. Look at the carpet. Look at the couches. Oh, the arrangement. Look what you've done. I love your art. You would just have this wonderful time at my house because your brain was not vigilant. Is this the house I want to buy?
Right.
As soon as you start looking for your soulmate, the one you want to marry, the one you want to buy, in a sense, your brain becomes hyper vigilant to see what's wrong with them, and you're unable to see what's right with them. And when you create a series, when you're seeing what's right with them, they're not the right person yet. You're just seeing what's right with them. Then what happens is you create a series of positive dating experiences where you're connecting in the mind. You might open your heart with some. You might be sexual with some as well, but they're still not the right person. And you're patiently trusting that you're going to attract the right person into your life. You won't know who it is. It will surprise you sometimes. One of these people who are not the right person, they'll hit some little switch and you'll open up and you'll fall in love with them because they earned it. You went from your head to your heart to your sexual attraction. Then when you have all three, you're still not sure this is the one. You're just having a wonderful time with them. Then when you have all three, then something happens is we're able to see if they're the one. I call that spiritual connection. That's the one I want to share my life with. That's the sense of permanence. I want to continue with that person. That's a spiritual connection. When you have a spiritual moment, you experience the eternity of life, that life is never ending. It goes on and on. That's one quality of spirituality. That's why when you have a spiritual connection with someone, you kind of feel like you want it to go on and on for a long, long time. So it's like the shift our whole orientation. Stop looking for the perfect one, but look for somebody that makes you feel safe, someone that makes you feel interested, interesting to you. And those two things are the key, is you feel safe to be yourself, to express yourself, and you find them interesting and they find you interesting. every man's job is that men are the opposite. If I'm a man, this is for women, of course, but it's good to know what goes on inside of men. Yes. The right woman for me, I always have to feel a sexual attraction for instantly. That's the right thing for a man. We're wired up from south to north. Women are wired up from north to south. You live in your head. You're always worrying about stuff, thinking about stuff, busy in your heads. Then we can go to our cave and forget everything, see porn, and I forget all my problems. For a man, he has to first feel that attraction, and sexual attraction. If it's not there, it's never going to be there in most cases. Unless for me, if I was seeing a woman and I'm in a monogamous relationship, I will check out the women. If I say, could I have sex with that woman? I immediately, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. But I'm not going to feel anything because I'm guiding my sexual energy over here. But if I was a single guy, basically, I'm going to go into a room, and my job is to be feeling, who could I be compatible with sexually? So men basically go, I could have sex with her, I can have sex with her. I mean, in Hollywood, you'll see most of the women they put on the screen are women that most men would want to have sex with. That's just the way they do it. It immediately grabs a man's attention when sexual potential awakens a man's energy. Relationship material, romantic material, qualities, character, goodness, dedication. These are qualities in the mind. You say, oh, I'm drawn to this guy. I have admiration for him and so forth, safety. So women have their first healthy attraction is in the head, so to speak, then the heart, then the genitals, then the spirit. That's the keeper. Then you've got, for men, you start with a sexual experience. But then as you get to know her, you start to like her more. You feel interaction with her. And if you like her more and you enjoy her, getting to know her, doing things for her, if you can sustain the sexual attraction, then this is possible relationship. Then as you listen to her and you have mental connection and you can sustain your sexual attraction, then that's even a better sign she's the right person for you. So what women need to know is to make sure if this is the right, from the man's point of view, if you can share who you are mentally and share your needs on an emotional level, and he's there for you and he's still interested in having sex with you, that's the guy you want to have sex with if you're having the mutual connection. But the guy who just wants to, be romantic and jump right into bed and whatever, he doesn't know who you are. And right. It's not like he's faking it. This is all real, okay? He's feeling, I'm in love with you, you're fantastic. And then boom, he has sex, but he has no real emotional connection. He doesn't even know who you are. That relationship's not going to last. And you're going to easily misinterpret this man's behavior because on some intuitive level, although women aren't conscious of it, on an intuitive level, women know that if they find the right guy and he's the catch, then they're going to get all sexually turned on. That's why celebrities will awaken sexual energy in women right away, rock stars and so forth. I mean, women ready to jump into bed. They're just feeling alive and everything because women are fantasizing, what if I was in a relationship with him? It's all fantasy, but she's still in her mind thinking about relationship and having the support. He's wealthy and rich. He could do this for me. Boom, all that sexual energy wakes up because they're in a fantasy of mental connection, heart connection, and then the sexual. I've talked to rock stars. I have friends, and they say, they used to have like 9 groupies. They all just line up to have sex. And he said, I finally gave it up. I just can't take one more disappointed woman. Because once they hit reality, when reality hits, she goes, he doesn't want me. He's the next woman. There's this fantasy he's going to want me, or at least he's going to be fantastic. And he's not. He's just this guy. So fantasy is one thing. You want to get out of fantasy before you actually have the physical connection with a man, because if a man has sex, he's just fantasizing, okay? It's not yet, there's no real mental connection. He hasn't heard how you think, how you feel, whatever. How many times have I been turned on to a woman because she was putting out messages that she wants to have sex with me, and I'm getting all turned on, and then I just have to be in a conversation with her, and I go, not her. There's a funny movie just to make this point of an older woman with a younger man, and she wants to have sex with him, and he starts talking. She says, don't talk and don't speak. Just don't speak. We'll just keep it down here in the sex center, because to sustain the sex, you need to have all three levels. And so the point of all those little stories is to help remember this main point. The general point is date not with the high expectations of the big list of everything you've got. Look at your list, look at how it makes you feel, and start looking for the non-soulmate. Be interested in having many, many dates, getting to know people, and practicing the many skills that we haven't gotten into, but we've hinted at. And one of those skills is to be authentic. Be authentic in sharing who you are. To adjust who you are in order to please someone, to get them to bond with you, means that when they discover who you are, they don't have any attraction for you. So the key is to put yourself out there, and not in a needy way. So if you're dressing in a super sexy way, you're just giving men what they want. All men want immediate sex, because what in our monkey brain, and when I say all men, some men hide it and don't know it, but basically in the monkey brain that we all have as men, is that if a woman says she wants sex with us, dresses in a way that says, I'm ready to go to bed with you, that stimulates the monkey brain to produce huge amounts of testosterone. So the man who doesn't make enough testosterone in his own, because he's not successful in his own integrity, in his own lifestyle, in his own confidence, in his maturity, he can't generate his own testosterone, then he's weak. And if he's weak, if a woman comes on to him sexually, it gives him a boost of testosterone. And he goes like, okay, I'm quite the guy. He feels really great. That's why guys go to porn, is they're addicted to porn, because they get this temporary boost of testosterone, but it just weakens him more and more over time, to where eventually he can't even be turned on to a real woman. He's dependent on fantasy. And so what happens with women, let's reverse that around, is that women get on their male side, independence, autonomy. It's a good thing. It's your male side. It produces a lot of testosterone. It lowers your estrogen levels. So you need to learn how to create more estrogen stimulation. And the key thing is 5 days. If you still have your period, it's 5 days after your period. If you're beyond your period, you're not ovulating anymore, then it tends to be around the 5 days leading up to and 1 day beyond the full moon. So around that time is where your body requires more estrogen. And that's the best time to make sure that you go out on a date. You're hanging out with men that you're dependent on for a good time. And a good time is, man goes, good time is let's have sex. I'm not saying that. I'm saying a good time is having someone do things for you because they're attracted to you and they want to please you. You want a man who wants to please you way more than you want to please him. That's the Geiger counter. Your insecurities and your neediness are confusing the whole thing. You're with the wrong guy if you've got this real eagerness to just do everything for him, as opposed to a little bit of reserve, which is uncertainty. Uncertainty is natural. Well, let's see what this guy can do for me. Let me be eager and excited because I get some companionship. He's going to pay for dinner for me. He's going to drive me. He's going to try to please me. And women go, well, what if he doesn't want to do that? He's the wrong guy. But the guys that want to do that, the guys that are attracted to you, you're not attracted to. You say, oh, no, they're not enough for me. No. Any guy who's attracted to you, if he's pursuing you and you're not attracted to him, great. That's the guy you want. The guys you're attracted to, the guys you picked, forget about them. Stop hunting for a man. There's men that are hunting for you, and they're going to be below your standard in your first, or you'll see something wrong with them. That's because you're on your male side. If you're too far on your male side, you cannot recognize your soulmate. And you cannot recognize your soulmate until you have a series of positive dating experiences that will bump up your estrogen, which gives you the right radar to pick the right guy and to be most attractive to the right guy, is getting that balance where you're in a situation where men are doing things for you and you're not doing so much for them. I've said it 5 times. That's probably enough.
You know what, John? I don't know if it is enough, because I think this is such a important principle that it's hard to overemphasize it, right?
Yes. I know you've had this experience as a coach. My daughter, Lauren, coaches single women as well. And she teaches a whole course, her online course, how to get more me time, and another one she's developing now. And she coaches them. And she's boggled that women hear it and they don't apply it. They don't get it because it literally is turning your world upside down. If you're alone and you want to be with somebody, something you're doing is not right. And it's not who you are. It's who you've been taught to be. It's what either you're taught to be that way or it's kind of an instinct. Let me give this other thing, the instinct. Let's say I'm a woman for a moment. I know it feels really good when somebody shows interest in me and I'm talking about something and they're saying, well, tell me more. Wow. I know that experience. Help me understand that better. They're showing interest in what you're thinking and feeling and you're talking and they're just so interested in you. That feels so good, right? It feels so good. So if you don't understand men are different, you're going to say, okay, I want to give him everything I want to get. I'm feeling good, so I want to give him my best. So what's the best thing for me is somebody being interested in me? Well, I'm going to be really interested in him. And so you think that if it was a woman, she would fall in love with you because you're being interested in her. But men only fall in love when they're on their male side and they do something for you and you're happy with what they've done. Showing interest in a man, giving him what you would want as a woman just puts him on his female side. It doesn't build up his masculine side. And men today more than ever need help to build up their masculine side, just as women need help to come back to their female side. And for many women listening, that answers the question is, why do you need a man? You don't need him. You're financially secure. You can support yourself. You can cook your own meals. Maybe you have your own apartment, home, whatever. What do you need him for? What you need him for is to stimulate estrogen. And not that you can't do it alone. You can get a little bit, but only a man can double it. A man during those 5 days will double your estrogen. And that's the only time it will double unless you're on a romantic date and doing something special. But that's when you need it the most. And if you don't get it during that time, then your testosterone levels will be out of balance with your estrogen. You'll just be too masculine. And when you're too masculine, no man will ever be enough. And what you want is to create this series where a man is enough and then the next man gives even more. And this is enough because you're not looking for perfection yet. It's like starting a new business. When I start a new business, I'm not making a lot of money. I just need a little progress. And I'm still feeling, okay, I'm committed to this. I'm moving on. I'm making progress. That could be in one relationship, getting a little more. It could be a date and then another date with another guy. But each time practicing not giving more. And today there's no problem getting dates with all this Tinder and all these different things. And, you can get dates if you just lower your standard and say no to what men are doing. They get these women saying, yes, I'd like to get with you. Well, that excites the primitive brain and he thinks you're ready to have sex with him. So you need to balance that off by not having sex with him, by making it clear, I like to get to know somebody first before I get too intimate. And that's it. And some guys will just say, well, forget that. Well, those are the guys you're never going to win over. They're never the right guys. But there's going to be certain guys that will go, okay, I'm game. And then you'll be a little intimate. You'll kiss a little bit, maybe touch a little more, get excited. That's when you can easily get caught into, oh, but I don't want to go all the way. But if I don't go all the way, he's going to be unhappy, and he will be unhappy if you don't go all the way. So what do? You learn another way to make him happy. You say no. You say, oh, I like to go slow. I know this is so exciting, but I just want to slow down. I think I ought to go, but he's going to be like, well, but why not? And he'll try to convince you. That's his job, is to try to convince you. Your job is to go slow. Your job is to say, oh, I'm having such a good time. I mean, this is amazing. It's just so fast. And I've learned, for me, I have to go slow. But yeah, every cell in my body wants to have sex with you now. That's all he needs to hear. Oh, okay. Knowing she wants you is almost as good as having sex, okay? It's just a matter of she wants me. When a woman shows she wants him, his testosterone levels shoot up. The problem is if he doesn't really earn it, then your wanting sex is often a placating, a wanting to please him. Now, I know some women, now you're 45, 35, maybe some younger, you want to have sex just for yourself as well. So again, I question, if you're looking for a serious relationship, just follow my instructions. And then if you're during those 5 days of the month where you got to have it, just go get it. but that's not going to create a lasting relationship with in your life. What you want to do is go slow with the intimacy. So as he's staying aroused, he gets a chance to do things for you. And if he's staying aroused, then he gets a chance to hear you in the light of arousal. Women are always much more interesting when a man is turned on to her than if he's not turned on to her. That's why couples eventually, when they lose being turned on to each other, they're not even interested in what they say or they do or whatever. It's kind of boring and flat. You find yourself being picky and critical because you're not turned on to each other. But women, you need to be turned on here first. And he needs to be turned on down there first. But the key is to get all three going before you connect all three together. And that's what real intimacy is to express all three parts of us. And then long-term relationship is to bring in that quality of it's just a feeling that happens all of a sudden that I want to share my life with this person. And if you have the three things, then that feeling can be real. Often you can have that feeling, gee, I just see that woman, I just want to share my life with her. She's the greatest. That's just fantasy. Don't feel betrayed by fantasy. Just recognize it's fantasy. And for the, women are up over 35 and 45 and, you're going to be dating guys who just ended a relationship.